It increases my paranoia. Like looking at my mirror and seeing a police car. But I'm not giving in and in.
And welcome to the Cosmic Connection. I'm your host, Cosmo, and welcome to our show on YouTube. YouTube.com, TV UFO. This is the Cosmic Connection show number 5. Feeling very mellow today, listening to some Crosby, Stills, Nash & Young. And we've got the UFO reports from the Cosmic Connection for February 16th, 2014. This is CC's show for the YouTube channel, number 5. Like for you to contact us with the emails. If you have any questions, comments, pro, con, what have you, contact Cosmo at the Cosmic Connection, UFO show at outlook.com. Give us an idea of some of the topics that you'd like to have us covered, some of my opinions if you'd like. Facebook UFO Photo, here we go. This photograph was taken by the witnesses. This is a New Jersey witness says Facebook photo captured UFO that hovered over a house. This photo that you're looking at is an enlargement of a piece of the image taken by a Facebook friend who posted the photograph the day after the New Jersey couple's encounter with a triangle UFO. This is posted by the National UFO Center, February 7th, 2004. 2 Vineland, New Jersey witnesses were surprised to see a friend's Facebook photo posting after watching a low-flying silent triangle-shaped UFO moving over their 2-story home that shone light onto their property that illuminated the whole front yard and slowly moved east and disappeared, according to testimony from case 53929 in the Mutual UFO Network MUFON witness reporting database. The friend snapped a photo of the object while driving that the witnesses say briefly hovered over their home. Witnesses stated they were on the 2nd floor of their residence. We both noticed bright lights out of our window. The 2 moved to the window for a look. We noticed that the lights were so bright that it illuminated the whole front yard, but then they looked up. When we looked up, we noticed the triangle shape. It was so low that I could see underneath the object. The object was bigger than my house. The object was completely silent. The object was flying to the east at a crawl. The following day, the witness discovered a photograph of the object. Someone on my Facebook page posted a picture of it from a distance. At the time, I did not feel threatened or scared. I was in awe. The photo attached is the photo from my Facebook friend posted when she was driving the same night. The case occurred about midnight on November 21st, 2013. Vineland is a city in Cumberland County, New Jersey. Population 60,000. New Jersey has a current UFO Alert 4 rating with a higher than average number of UFO sightings nationally. New Jersey was the 17th highest reporting state with 13 reports in January 2014, while California had 102 reports, the highest reporting state in the nation. This is from Filer's Files. And we'd like to thank the National UFO Center for this report. Our second report comes from Raleigh, North Carolina. This is a disc-shaped photograph. Witness states, I saw 4 discs in the clear sky. I took a very clear photo of what I witnessed. I was on the 10th floor of a tall office building when I walked out on the balcony to look at some unusual clouds. I was on an interview and was immediately called back in, but not before I could take a picture. I didn't look at the picture until later that day when I remembered how strange it was. I looked at it closely and did not alter it at all. I showed a few friends and family members and the feedback was all the same. Nobody could explain it at all. I was completely baffled and really would like some answers to this strange sighting. The objects looked like discs with a hole in the center. One was extremely large, maybe the size of a Walmart store. The other 3 around it were much smaller, but in a triangular formation and slightly above the larger one. I emailed the photo to UFOCNTR@northwestlink.com, asking if they'd get back to us. So, you got any ideas? You were out in Raleigh, North Carolina when this took place. This report occurred January 23rd, 2014 at 12 p.m., straight up noon. Interesting picture, great sighting. Any feedback on it, ladies and gentlemen? Cosmo here for the Cosmic Connection. On to number 3. We've got some amazing photographs here from Arizona. Arizona witness photographs red glowing disc UFO at treetops. This was posted by the National UFO Center February 14th, 2014. 2 Arizona witnesses in Maricopa reported watching a red glowing light around the treetop level with a disc-like outline. According to February 11, 2014 testimony in case 54021 from the Mutual UFO Network Witness Reporting Database. The reporting witness's mother was outside about 8:30 p.m. on February 9, 2014 when she first noticed that the light that appeared to be moving about 20 miles per hour. She yelled for me to come outside and look at it. The reporting witness stated, "I came outside and saw what she was pointing at and started filming it on my iPhone camera." The witness described the object. "It had a red glow to it as I caught the remaining 20 seconds before it left our field of view, but the witness's mother had been watching the object for about 2 minutes. When it was at the midpoint of her viewing area, she could see a disc-like outline, and it had about 5 to 6 protrusion-type areas. She described it as wart-like looking, as the best description she could come up with. The witness took video on his cell phone and asked his brother to create these pictures. These are still pictures. The 5 images were included with the report. It was traveling from north to south and maybe 100 feet above tree level. MUFON reports Maricopa is a city in the Gila River Valley, Pena County, Arizona, population 44,000. Arizona has a UFO alert rating of 3 with a high number of recent reports. Arizona was the 4th highest reporting state with 32 reports in January 2014, while California had 102 reports, the highest reporting state in the nation. Again, that's from the National UFO Center. That was reported February 14th. Interesting photos. I like them. Very colorful. Little bit of history here. 1980 Cache Landrum UFO Encounter. How many people have heard about this contamination and ultimately the death of some of these witnesses to this remarkable event? This is a landmark in the history of UFOs. It is the 1980 Cache Landrum incident, which occurred in the Piney Woods of Texas. This case marked the only time that any American citizen has sued the United States of America for damages received from a UFO. This extraordinary case is only rivaled in Texas by the 1957 UFO landings at Loveland. The events of Piney Woods began on the night of December 29, 1980, as Betty Cache, Vicki Landrum, and Colby Landrum were driving through the woods trying to find an open bingo game. A frightening UFO was seen. They soon encountered a diamond-shaped UFO hanging over the road ahead. The 2 adults, Betty and Vicki, first thought that they were seeing a helicopter or an airplane. There were several airfields not too far from them, but this object was not like a helicopter, plane, or anything else they had seen before. The large menacing UFO would from time to time shoot reddish-orange flames toward the asphalt road below. Betty, though frightened, was somewhat fascinated by the otherworldly-looking object. She was now out of her car and watching the UFO as it hovered above and ahead of them. Suddenly the skies were full of helicopters. Betty remarked, "They seemed to rush in from all directions. It seemed like they were trying to encircle the thing. The ladies felt that the helicopters must be from a nearby airbase." Betty returned to her car and found the door handle was hot enough to burn her hand as she got inside. Betty and Vicki sat and counted the number of helicopters filling the skies around the UFO. They found 23. Some of them were the double-rotor CH-47 Chinook, and the others they believe to be Bell Huey. Finally, the 3 made their way home for the night, still wondering exactly what they had seen. But after they arrived, all 3 of them became ill within a couple of hours. Betty, who was out on the pavement of the road, was the worst of the 3. Her neck and head were blistered, her eyes swelled shut, and she was nauseated. Betty was forced to go to the hospital. She was admitted and treated as a burn patient. She stayed for 15 days. She lost her hair, and her eyes were so badly swollen that she was unable to see for a week. 7-year-old Colby had problems with his eyes also, and Vicky's hair began to fall out. The 3 witnesses to the large UFO were treated for radiation poisoning. Their condition was listed as life-threatening. Betty began to lose weight and develop sores over her body. She was diagnosed as having skin cancer. As an investigation began, the first order of business was to try to locate the origin of the helicopters. There were a number of air bases in the area, but none of them admitted having anything flying in the Piney Woods on the night in question. There would be one statement made by the military. Fort Hood press officer Major Tony Gahasan was interviewed by the Corpus Christi Caller newspaper and stated no helicopters from Fort Hood, Texas were in the area during the Cache Landrum encounter. Major Geshasser's official statement, "I don't know any other place around here that would have that number of helicopters," he said. "I don't know what it could be, unless there is a super secret thing going on and I wouldn't necessarily know about it." An examination of the Blacktop Road showed that it was badly damaged by the fiery downbursts from the UFO. The damage was quickly repaired by road crews. However, without a source for the helicopters, a military exercise could not account for the strange sight that night. Was this a military cover-up? Was the military confronting a UFO and keeping it from the public? All that could be said for certain is that Betty, Vicky, and Colby encountered an object of unknown origin. Death from their injuries. Betty Cash, Vicky Landrum, and Colby Landrum sued the United States government for medical damages resulting from the unknown object encountered on the road in Piney Woods. During a congressional hearing, the Department of the Army Inspector General denied that the military was in any way involved in the incident. No compensation would be given to the 3 witnesses. Ironically, Betty Cash died on the 18th anniversary of the event in Birmingham, Alabama. She had been in bad health ever since the encounter. And they're back again. Strange metallic horns and boom reports persist. We've got horns, booms, trumpets. Everything's going on around the United States, ladies and gentlemen. Maybe you saw the, what was that? The sinkhole swallow those Corvettes. Strange happenings around the planet, ladies and gentlemen. February 15th, 2014, strange metallic horns and boom reports. I heard the more metallic sounds that were described by one of the women in your Earth Files interview. It did sound like a road grader from the blade down on asphalt or metal. This report coming from the Linda Howell earthfiles.com reporting website. Residents of Brookings, South Dakota, January 2014. The shofar, ram's horn, is mentioned frequently in the Hebrew Bible, the Talmud, and the rabbinic literature. The loud horn sound of a shofar emanating from the thick cloud on Mount Sinai made the Israelites tremble in awe. Archangel Michael depicted on the Port St. Angelo Bridge in Rome, Italy, who is described in the Quran as blowing on his trumpet, calling the angels when this age is about to pass away. Update, February 13th, 2014. Metallic horn sounds in St. Paul, Minnesota. Even horn trumpet sounds persist in U.S. and Canada. Loud booms, tremors heard and felt in Ocean City, Maryland, but quake ruled out. Maryland Geological Survey record of loud boom and tremor event lasted longer than normal sonic boom, leaving many questioning sonic boom proposed answer. This data is very inconsistent with any kind of earthquake activity, but source is unknown. And that's Richard Ort, Director, Maryland Geological Survey. Snapshot from Maryland Geological Survey, February 6, 2014, around 11:30 a.m. Eastern Time. From the whole length of Ocean City, Maryland, police said a Dover Air Force Base spokesperson said it had no demolition. Yeah, said it had no demolition or flights in the area. I didn't know they did demolition in that area. Wow, that's news. Seismologists in Maryland, Denver, New Jersey, Pennsylvania, and Virginia are studying the mysterious green signal that came midday when the public reported the loud boom and tremors. All right, here's some feedback about the mysterious boom and horn trumpet sounds of February 4th or thereabouts. The boom, it's June 23rd. The boom and horn sound like Switzerland video actually came from the direction of the now famous June 23rd, 2014 Waldo Canyon fire on the very same day the fire started. The CBS 4 helicopter footage showed house after house on fire with no fire in the trees surrounding those burning homes. This is a resident of Littleton, Colorado. Going back in time on the shakings and the booms, here's another one from January 31st, 2014. Loud house shaking booms. Even horn trumpet sounds persist in U.S. and Canada. The loud boom just shook this whole neighborhood. Stuff rattled on the shelves. Everyone was coming out wondering what's going on. I've even had people say, are we being invaded? Where is it coming from? Who is doing it? Why? We don't know how long this is going to continue. Leon Cunningham, 25-year resident in Livingston City, Kentucky. January 9th, 2014. More mysterious booms in Arkansas, Toronto, Kentucky, Central Virginia, Texas, Missouri, Illinois, and Vermont. Residents between Edmonton and Columbia, Kentucky, south of Louisville. January 6, 2014. My father thought his house was being hit with a huge, close-fired military projectile. He said 5-inch 54 artillery shells, to be precise. January 8th, 2014. Booms, horn sounds continue. I am a 30-year veteran storm spotter chaser, amateur radio operator, and have a solid science background. I have never heard anything exactly like this with this type of weather conditions. Resident, Flora, Illinois, December 23rd, 2013, 6 to 9 p.m. Central. The sound was like a horn trumpet sound, which went off 3 times. Resident, Milton, Vermont, December 24th, 2013, 2:10 a.m. to 2:45 a.m. Heard loud boom in Newmarket at 11 p.m. Thought tree had fallen on house. Nicole Mortello, Newmarket, near Toronto, Canada, December 24th, 11 p.m. To my dad, the sounds were coming from up and above, but to me, from upstairs, the sound seemed to come from below. Southern Illinois resident, December 21st, 2013. People, keep an eye out for these booms. Keep your ears out. Listen for the trumpets, the sounds. Stay safe. Weird stuff's going on. Again, you're watching The Cosmic Connection here on YouTube, on the TV UFO YouTube channel. Thank you for staying tuned. This is Cosmo. Let's get back to the reporting. February 12th, 2014. Kentucky sinkhole swallows 8 Corvettes inside National Corvette Museum. We had several employees in tears. They work with the Corvettes. They take care of them. This is Woody Strode, ex-director, National Corvette Museum, Bowling Green, Kentucky. All right, this is an interesting story. This is from Linda Moulton Howell's earthfiles.com website. Strange S-shaped weather radar picture off western coast of Australia. A military exercise? I've never seen this one, people. There's no cloud, there's nothing to produce a rain echo, which we do see a lot, but not this particular S shape. This is from Neil Bennett, Perth Bureau of Meteorology, Western Australia, February 12th, 2014. The unusual pattern that appeared on the Bureau's Perth weather radar on Wednesday, February 12th, was the result of a defense exercise off the West Australian coast. Australian Navy spokesperson said February 13th, 2014, this is a screenshot of the Australian Bureau of Meteorology weather radar map showing a strange S-shaped pattern, which of Perth and weather radar map showing a strange S-shaped pattern west of Perth and 30 kilometers west of Rottnest Island, 11 miles long, a limestone reef off the coast of Western Australia on February 12, 2014. Screenshot by ABC News Australia. February 13, 2014, Perth, Australia. The Australian Broadcasting Corporation, ABC, reported on February 13, 2014, that a strange S-shaped formation, which appeared on Perth Weather Bureau radar off the West Australian coast on February 12, 2014, was not caused by cloud. ABC News in Australia had inquired with the Australian Department of Defence about whether there are military operations off the west coast that might interfere with weather radar, but received no comment for some 24 hours. Then on February 13th, an Australian Navy spokesperson released a statement to the general press that read, in part, the unusual pattern that appeared on the Bureau of Meteorology's Perth weather radar on Wednesday, 12th of February, was the result of a defense exercise off the West Australian coast. The exercise is a regular training activity involving ships and aircraft that is designed to prepare a Navy warship for an operational deployment. This exercise is ongoing. The environmental conditions over the West Australian coast at the time of the activity provided a unique opportunity for this routine activity to be visible on the weather radar display. S pattern compared to an 11-mile long Rottnest Island is huge. Earth Files. Linda Moulton Howell's website also received a February 13, 2014 email from a Perth resident with a copy of the above meteorology map, who stated, if you look at the Weather Bureau radar image attached and look for Rottnest Island off the coast of Perth, the length of Rottnest is 18 kilometers, 11 miles, and that's a small blip in comparison to the S-shape. What the heck are they doing off the coast of Western Australia? If any viewer has any information about what is happening west of Perth in the alleged military exercise that could produce such an odd and large S-shaped pattern on weather radar, please email earthfiles@earthfiles.com, and that's a request from Linda Howell at earthfiles.com. February 11th, 2014. Elongated skulls in Paracas, Peru, not human. Sample skull had mtDNA with mutations unknown in any human, primate, or animal known so far, but a few fragments indicate that if these mutations will hold, we are dealing with a new human-like creature very distant from Homo sapiens, Neanderthals, and Denisovans. I am not sure it will even fit into the known evolutionary tree. Anonymous U.S. government geneticist. 2 of 300 elongated Paracas skulls at the Ice Museum in southern Peru. Over 300 of these elongated skulls were found in 1928 in a large graveyard in Paracas on the desert peninsula of Pisco Province on the south coast of Peru. Researcher, author, and tour guide Brian Forrester, who has been trying for years to reach a wider public with information about the Paracas skulls, says he worked with the geneticist who does contract DNA analysis for the U.S. government. To date, that person has remained anonymous pending verification of his DNA analysis quoted above. The truth may lie in a simple piece of cloth. Painting by Paul Kane showing a North American Chinook child in the process of having its head flattened and an adult after the process. The alternative explanation for the bizarre discovery is that the skull was artificially deformed as part of a tribal ritual. The practice of skull elongation to signify group affiliation or social status dates back 9,000 years. Common in various tribal cultures around the world, such as Mayans, North American natives, and Australian Aborigines, the head molding styles fell into 3 groups: flat, round, or conical. To achieve the desired shape, the head was wrapped in tight cloth. In the case of cranial flattening, the head was placed between two pieces of wood. The technique would usually be carried out on an infant when the skull is at its most pliable. The cloth would be applied from a month after birth and be held in place for about 6 months. Indiana Jones and the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull featured a conical alien skull similar to the one found in Peru. And finally today on the Cosmic Connection out of Las Vegas, Nevada, Oregon Alien Encounter. Merle, Oregon. I was driving along Highway 39 out of Klamath Falls on December 23rd, 2013, as I was entering the town of Merrill when I noticed a pure, bright, white, pointy-edged kind of rectangular light emanating from an object silhouetted by the houses about 50-60 feet away from me in a field off the main road near Mount Shasta. Although it was dark out, I could make out a pie plate-shaped object about 20 feet in diameter with a dip missing from one side. It was on that side that I noticed 3 or 4 smaller working persons around it. I slowed and realized these people were alarmed. I thought maybe they were a mix of children or possibly women because of the height and the frame. I made a U-turn to take a longer look at this weird object, but when I returned, it was no longer there. Only haze fog remained, but I noticed a beacon 50 feet above a business. The flashing stopped, then red and white lights came on all around the outside of the craft, then began to go around the circumference of it in sequence, white, then red, then white. I knew it was definitely a disc at that point. When I got to the wooded area of the drive by the Lava Flows Monument, my truck lost power and slowed almost to a stop for no apparent reason at all, thanks to MUFON CMS and the great Filer Files. Yeah, that's a good one. I like that. That's the loss of power. We all, the novices out there even know this from the Close Encounters Steven Spielberg movie. What else we got in here? We've got rectangular light emanating from the object. How big's this thing? 20 feet in diameter. There you go. Occupants looking like children, looking possibly like women, with witnesses noticing the frame of the humanoids. And this is Merrill, Oregon, stomping grounds, Oregon. Klamath Falls, got some friends out there, out that way. Highway 39 out of Klamath Falls on December 23rd. Well, who's going to be out that night except for aliens? And an occasional passerby that got to see the Oregon aliens. They were broke down and fixing their craft and then took off. Anyway, Cosmo here for the Cosmic Connection. Like to thank you for tuning in. Watching the past programs. Stay tuned for more. Like I said, if you have any ideas, comments, pro, con, contact the Cosmic Connection. Send me an email, ufoshow@outlook.com. And stay tuned for the Cosmic Connection. As always on the Cosmic Connection, tell your friends, tell your neighbors, write to us, give us some advice. We like feedback from the audience, so give us your feedback. Thanks again for tuning in to my show, The Cosmic Connection. This is show number 5, February 16th, 2014. We'll see ya.
When I finally get myself together, I'm going to get down in that sunny southern weather.